Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where last time ever hopefully doesn't have the same meaning as once in a lifetime in the WWE. It's Lost in the Midcard. Welcome to our special Takeover Brooklyn 4 SummerSlam review show. We'll also talk, of course, NXT, Raw and SmackDown aftermath, as well as we head towards NXT tapings next week and Hell in a Cell in just 3 weeks. We'll get you all prepared for all that. But first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button, and that way you know every time a new episode comes your way every Thursday, as well as select Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube. The links to all that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. Hit the notes section there or the pinned post. You also could find it on the pinned tweet on our Twitter at LITMC Podcast. That's where we also share a lot of great tweets within the wrestling world. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You could find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
I enjoyed SummerSlam, and I'm surprised that I did.
I think we all are surprised that you enjoyed it, for one. We're all surprised that you enjoyed it. It was a good show. It was pretty cool. Good weekend. A good strong weekend. And now we look forward to All In pretty soon, huh?
It's right around the corner, man. It's right around the corner.
Back on the show, he is on the Twitter at No One Like D. Darryl Bullock is back on the show with us here. Darryl, how you doing tonight?
I am fantastic. I was very impressed with the whole Brooklyn weekend, SummerSlam weekend, because honestly, I thought it'd be less than what it was, but I actually enjoyed it.
It was a great weekend. I tell you, even the Monday and Tuesdays, I mean, they weren't mind-blowing, so to speak, but I'll tell you what, both Raw and SmackDown had mind-blowing endings, great endings. The crowd was hyped, louder than normal for a Raw or SmackDown. Overall, all 4 days I thought were pretty good, don't you think, Matt?
I wasn't a huge fan of Raw overall. I thought SmackDown was really good, though.
Yeah, the ending of Raw was amazing, though. Holy cow.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Let's start it off here. NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4 on Saturday night. I did not get to watch live. I got it in before SummerSlam started, though, when I got back into town. Cut into the pre-show, so I'm pretty sure I probably didn't miss much out of that SummerSlam pre-show. So NXT Takeover was a little better than the kickoff show. So we kick things off with the Tag Team Championships. Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong against Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven, Tyler Bate, and goddamn, Matt, right out of the gate, I think we might have got our match of the night even. I think this is probably my match of the night. Put that up there maybe with Cole and Ricochet, but I almost give a lean to that tag team title match because it was just it was even a step up from before, their battles before. What did you think, Matt?
I love the tag match. It wasn't my match of the night, but I definitely thought it was a strong start to the show, and all four of those guys were the house down.
Yeah, it was an amazing show to kick things off. The crowd going nuts over it. Darryl, what were your thoughts on the NXT Tag Team title match?
Ridiculous. Like, those guys went at it. And, of course, Triple H shows us again he knows how to open a takeover and just pretty much get it going on the right foot.
It was insane. So, you had my moment of the match, of this particular match here, was when O'Reilly had Bate in in a leg lock, and Seven grabbed the towel, reminiscent to the when the Undisputed Era got their tag team titles back when Tyler Bate threw in the towel. And Seven thought about throwing in the towel, threw it into the crowd. I thought that was a tremendous, tremendous moment. Eventually, Bate got to Seven for the hot tag, and it was insane. But unfortunately for Mustache Mountain, O'Reilly and Strong got the high-low combo on Trent Seven, got the win after a tremendous 18-minute match to retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. But lo and behold, after the match, I think their next opponents made a statement in the War Raiders. Matt, do you think the War Raiders are going to be the team to take the titles off of Undisputed Era next?
100%. Yes.
And Darryl, how surreal is it that this next potential NXT Tag Team Championship match is going to be Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Hanson, and Rowe?
Ring of Honor, Ring of Honor, Ring of Honor.
Man.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I love the War Raiders. I love Roddy. I love Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, they need to just hurry up and just give it to us right now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they stretch this out all the way to November, because next takeover is not until November. Are you, Matt? Are you a fan of the still at this point in time? Are you a fan of the 4 takeover system, or would you rather see 6 and go every other month?
Oh,
do we do 4? Or is it 5?
I think they do 5.
Oh, maybe they do 5. Okay.
Yeah, they do one for Money in the Bank.
4 Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
I would not mind them going to 6.
Because there's a long wait between this.
If you've already got 5,
yeah,
I think 6 would be a nice way to go. I'm not even sure what pay-per-view you would mix that with.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Well, let me ask you this: would you go back to the old style with Takeover and just do it on a Wednesday?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a live one from Full Sail,
once a year
between SummerSlam and Survivor Series.
Yeah, because it's such a long break in between.
You do one at the beginning of October or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'd be totally okay with that. Not every takeover has to be in the same venue WWE's running the next night. I'd be good with that.
I think they want to maximize the card and pretty much try to get as much money as possible. I don't think they do it at Full Sail anymore on a Wednesday. But I would love to see it.
They don't get a ton of money because you don't fit a whole lot of people in the Full Sail.
Yeah.
But just for I would just love to have a 6 takeover. I mean, you could do one in Orlando. I guess you don't have to go to Full Sail. You could
do Amway.
Yeah. You could do one in Orlando, and I'm pretty sure they could still sell it out. I think it would be very difficult for them not to sell out in Orlando. That's a diehard wrestling area.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I feel like if they wanted to hold a show at a live takeover down there between SummerSlam and Survivor Series every year, I definitely think the audience would be there for it.
Yeah, those were some of the best takeovers.
Yeah, I just think it's such a long stretch between now and LA, where there are going to be big matches on NXT. Don't get me wrong; there probably will be. Every title will probably be defended at some point between now and before LA. So, there's going to be some epic NXT episodes coming, but at the same time, it is a long, long ways until the next takeover.
I just think that if you do Undisputed Era and the War Raiders, you have to put that on the takeover.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to. It's for a diehard wrestling fans such as ourselves that follow these guys damn near their whole career. You have to put that one on a takeover, not just a taping.
Well, the thing is, I mean, with War Games coming in November, that I could easily see the title match occurring before Takeover and seeing something involving the Era and War Machine and somebody else, or or something involved in the War Games match itself. Because I just think if the War Raiders just stake their claim for the championship now, it would be very difficult for me to try to understand why we're waiting 3 months for them to get their title shot.
Absolutely.
Next up was Velveteen Dream taking on EC3. Velveteen Dream, happy birthday, by the way, turned 23 on Sunday. And some colorful tights, most noticeably on the ass. Call me up, Vince. I'm sure Vince is probably putting it into advisement. EC3, definitely looking tan. We'll just put it that way. How about the bump that Dream took when EC3 threw the jacket back at him? That was hilarious when Dream bumped at that.
You know, I thought the whole match was really good. You know, it was probably. I hate to even say that this was probably the weakest match of the night.
It was hard
because I did not think there was a bad match on the show.
No, there
but
wasn't.
If you put a gun to my head and I had to pick you know what?
You can't, Matt.
Now that I'm stopping and thinking about it.
You can't.
You know what? People might drag me on this, but I don't give a fuck. I'll tell you right now, the weakest match of the night was the main event.
I'm with it. For the simple fact that
it's too much stuff we've already seen before.
But for me, I guess this was my favorite match. I won't call it the match. It was my favorite match because how long has it been? If he has won on a pay-per-view, I think this is Dream's first win on a pay-per-view at a takeover. So I was excited for him.
I think he won his takeover debut last year in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's lost quite a few.
But it's been a long time since he's won since. Yeah. But I picked Velveteen Dream to win this match. Of course, JB did not, but you know he likes being wrong.
JB Matt was tweeting me the whole time during Takeover and pretty much count. Yep, I'm 1-0. I'm 2-0. I'm 3-0. Oh, 4-1. The whole time.
I win 4-1, and I might have won 5-0 if Johnny wouldn't have dislocated his fucking knee. But I digress.
Yeah. The end of the match, Velveteen Dream hits his Dream Valley Driver on the apron and then hits the Purple Rainmaker on the apron, which was an awesome sequence to give Dream probably the biggest win of his career at this point in NXT. What is next for Dream? I mean, do you turn him babyface and he becomes the next challenger for Ciampa? Do you rekindle the Ricochet feud once him and Cole get the rematch out of the way? What do you do with Dream, Matt? Looks like Darryl might have something to say.
Yeah, I think Dunn's going after Ricochet.
Yeah, he sure teased.
But I don't think that's going to be a long-term feud.
No, because Dunn's going to be NXT UK, which is kicking off.
Yeah, I was going to say Dunn's got enough to worry about on the UK brand. That I don't think that's going to be a long-term feud. I think it's going to be a great match on a week of NXT TV, but I don't think that's going to be something that's going to carry over. Dream's already a face in the eyes of a lot of the fans anyway.
Yeah.
That crowd in Brooklyn, like he was the face in that match.
Yeah, so to me, the two names that make the most sense to challenge next for the title would be Velveteen Dream or Adam Cole. And yes, they might be considered quote unquote heels by a portion of the audience, but they're so over.
Yeah.
And there's a portion of the audience that loves these guys that I can see either of those guys challenging Ciampa for the championship. I think him and Johnny need to be separated for a while. I don't know how bad the dislocated knee is. But that might be a blessing in disguise. That we could put this feud on the back burner for a little bit, because I think the main event could have been great as a triple threat, but I feel like the last man standing, we saw a lot of stuff we'd already seen before, and due to injury, the ending just fell flat. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the match, but if I had to pick the weakest match of the show, I feel it was the main event.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. I thought the main event was solid. I mean, obviously, it wasn't the best of the the series, and we have seen some things before, but there's also a lot of things we haven't seen. And I thought they were really unique with the last man standing stipulation as well. But it's hard to even pick a weakest. I mean, there wasn't any stinkers on this at all. Every match was above average at worst. So, it's kind of hard to say. But Dream definitely on the way up. EC3 got a nice little shiner. As a result, probably maybe a couple stitches in the eye, right in the eyelid, possibly. As always, there is always somebody in the front row at NXT Takeover. Bro! The king of bros, Matt Riddle. He's there. Expect him probably to be involved sometime in the tapings here next week.
I'd be shocked if he wasn't on the tapings.
Yeah.
I think they tape tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
And, he's all done with his indie commitments, so he's ready. I think he's probably going to get a strong push to get going too. So it'll be really cool to see the super king of bros, Matt Riddle, and very, very cool moment that led up to our NXT North American Championship match. Adam Cole and Ricochet, and Jesus Christ, these guys. I mean, this was definitely one for the ages. How about the super kick heard round the world as Ricochet is springboard moonsaulting and Cole catches him with the fucking super kick while he's upside down. How insane was that?
So Shawn Michael-esque.
Dude, it was fantastic. To me, this was the match of the night. I felt both of these guys stole the show. From start to finish, I was on the edge of my seat for this match. I thought it was fantastic, and like I said, I called the title change. JB didn't, shocker.
Yeah, you cheat, so.
But yeah, I cheat. Okay. Yeah, I called up Trips and asked for the winners ahead of time.
You did.
But Ricochet is legit. Totally deserving of that championship, and I think he's going to hold that fucker for a while. Like, I really do.
Yeah, it's really cool to see a man, not too long into his WWE/NXT career, already holding gold, already impressing everybody. And I mean, it's no surprise to us. We've known the guy, we've seen the guy for years, and to see him quickly succeed in NXT is a great thing to see. Truly a great moment to see Ricochet holding that gold for the first time with his 630 splash. Dude's just insane. He does things that don't seem possible, like when he does a Hurricane Rana over the ropes to the outside. I mean, just insane, some of the shit that he does. But your new North American champion, Ricochet, after a brilliant 15-minute match. Like I said, this match and the tag match were my two best. I still kind of lean towards the tag match being my favorite of the evening, but this one was very close, a very close second as well. Who would you guys like to see takeover-wise next for Ricochet? I'm assuming the Pete Dunne storyline is going to start and finish with these next tapings. So, what would you like to see come War Games?
I wouldn't mind seeing him in EC3.
Mm-hmm. Matt?
I don't know, man. It's so far away.
It is.
Like 3 months from now, it's impossible for me to really predict who's going to be in that spot in 3 months from now. Because you're going to have debuts, you're going to have people coming back from injury. Nobody got called up, so I mean they got a big roster to work with. You know what, dude? I wouldn't even be surprised if it was the bro himself.
Yeah.
Ricochet and Matt Riddle.
I would.
I can see that.
That'd be insane too.
I could totally see that within 3 months. Him being in that title picture.
Yeah, I don't argue with you there at all. We'll soon learn possibly that direction by next week's show as they tape tomorrow. But Kevin Owens and Mark Henry taking in the show ringside. They show them as we lead up to the NXT Women's Championship match. Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, and all of a sudden, the last couple weeks, Kairi Sane finding that killer instinct. Shayna Baszler has kind of forced it out of her. And what did you think of the finish? Unique, kind of a unique way of doing it, Matt?
Look, I'll be the first to admit I did not. This was the match I was least looking forward to.
Yeah.
Like, I've already seen them work twice, you know, and I thought both times the matches were good, but I didn't think they were like amazing or anything. These two blew me away. This match was incredible. They told an amazing story, and I loved the Bret Hart Roddy Piper, Bret Hart Stone Cold finish, however you want to remember it. With Sleeper Hold being locked in and the flip over to get the win, I thought it was awesome.
And and I kind of dig the new submission move by Sane as well, the anchor. Obviously it fits her gimmick, but at the same time it's a different kind of submission hold and a different way for Sane to win as well outside of the insane elbow. And once again, these girls shown, like just as many others before them in the NXT Women's Championship, these women can deliver, and Sane and Baszler definitely did that. Darryl, what were your thoughts on Sane becoming the new NXT Women's Champion?
I'm with Matt on this. Prior to the match is probably the one that I was least looking forward to. I just honestly thought that Shayna would just beat her, choke her out.
I thought so too. I thought just because and Shayna has said that in promos and such. They're worlds apart from where they were at the Mae Young Classic a year ago, and so I thought, okay, the Shayna's going to go over here. So,
right. I mean, my heart. I love Shayna Baszler. I'm happy to see that Kairi Sane won, because that just pretty much opens up potential for whoever wins the Mae Young Classic. Because think about it, Kairi Sane and I can't pronounce her name, but Shirai, whatever her name is, for the title. That also opens doors, which I thought if Shayna would have got called up, and me and Matt discussed that, possibly open it up for the four horsewomen of WWE versus the four horsewomen of UFC. So we'll see. I enjoyed the match. It was a good match overall.
Couple of those in the WWE aren't friends anymore, though.
That's true.
It was supposed to be the plan for Survivor Series, though.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be the four horsewomen against the four horsewomen. So I don't know how the WWE side of the horsewomen get back on the same page in time for Survivor Series at this point. I really don't.
I think I've said it on the show
unless
before.
they force them to work together.
I've said it. I've said it on the show before. This might be something for 2019 Survivor Series, because I don't know if Duke and Shafir are ready yet. They haven't even been on NXT television yet, and now you're going to put them at Survivor Series. I think it's just too soon. So I think I've said it before. I think this is more of a 2019 thing than a 2018 thing.
Yes, we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see stranger things happen.
That's very true.
We've already talked about this at length. Last Man Standing, Gargano, Ciampa for the NXT Championship, their fourth clash in this epic best feud in professional wrestling. These guys went about 30 minutes. We've already pretty much kind of given you our thoughts. Matt not liking it that much. I still liked it. I was
like I said, I liked it fine. But if I had to pick the weakest match of the show, I have to give it to the main event.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this match was better than the women and EC3 and Dream, in my opinion. This is definitely a third for me.
If you would have put the match that they had in TakeOver New Orleans and the main event for TakeOver Brooklyn, I would have said that was the best match on the card. But they fought 3 times.
Yeah.
And each match, it was a special stipulation. So it's kind of like we've seen it before, and we know what the quality of what we were going to get already. So that's why I say I kind of agree with Matt too. Like the other matches we haven't seen besides maybe the women's match, or in the tag match. Well, we haven't seen it as much as the main event. We've seen it 3 times, special stipulations, and there it was right there. Not to say it was a bad match, but everybody else pretty much, in my opinion, outperformed it.
Yeah, plus with the last man standing match, it's going to be a lot slower,
Right.
And the stipulation is going to take away from that as well. I mean, you ain't going to, I don't think you're ever going to top TakeOver New Orleans because, I mean, I think that was probably one of the best matches in NXT history right there, and it was, I mean, I just stood there blankly, with a blank thought after that was over with. I was just so insanely immersed into that match. A great match here. Gargano had handcuffed Ciampa to some speakers there on the staging area, delivered a couple of kicks right against those speakers, went for a running knee, and that's where Gargano got hurt. Potentially dislocated kneecap, I believe is what they were saying. The ending of the match was Gargano couldn't get up for the 10 count, and Ciampa was able to kind of roll over and still stand up on his feet while handcuffed, which I thought kind of was a unique way of ending the match, as Gargano is carried off by officials and medical staff, and Ciampa comes out. Just as the graphic shows up, Ciampa comes out and waves goodbye to a yet another amazing TakeOver Brooklyn. And I agree, yeah, I think it's a good time to put a little pause button on that feud. And because I think Gargano was probably supposed to win that, and then who knows what happens from there. Probably the triple threat, if Black is able to go by the time we get to War Games. I don't know what exactly is going to happen there, but it's hard to tell. But if do you see anybody else other than Dream or EC3 next for Ciampa?
Not at the moment, I don't. Unless you do Lars again. But
I said Adam Cole.
Yeah, Adam Cole. Yeah, nobody got called up too. We're surprised by that?
I really was.
Honestly, it's the best thing that could have happened for NXT.
The next night,
in my personal opinion, anyway.
The next night,
you would have left a void. You would definitely have left a void if you called up Cole or Dream or.
And none of those guys are going to come up and get used properly on the main roster as long as Vince is up there.
Yeah,
right.
So, I thought, to me, I was happy that nobody got called up. Don't fuck with my NXT.
SummerSlam the next evening. The kickoff show had 3 matches. Almas and Vega took on Rusev and Lana, which also we saw a rematch of that on SmackDown this week as well. Cruiserweight Championship, Alexander against Gulak. Matt, what were your thoughts on the Cruiserweight title?
Honestly, I missed that. I missed that match. I didn't see it.
I did too. I was watching TakeOver, so I didn't get in until about the second hour of it. Did you watch the kickoff show, Darryl?
Nope. I was out and about, and I didn't come in the house until probably maybe like 30 minutes into SummerSlam.
B Team and the Revival for the Raw Tag Team Championships, as the B Team have been doing. They escape with a win. Probably Luck's going to probably run out when AOP faces them. Is that about what you think that's going to head towards, Matt?
I don't know, dude. It ain't like AOP's been used really good on the main roster right now.
No.
I don't think their feud with the Revival's done yet.
No, I think they're going to still keep going there, but I don't think the Revival's taking the titles off of them. I would hope they would, but I don't see it coming.
I don't see it either. Hey, Matt, how you like the B Team's new music?
Oh, my God.
Fucking awful.
B team, go, go, go.
Like I said, it gives me bad Spirit Squad flashbacks.
I was about to say that secondhand Spirit Squad.
Ready? Okay. Main show kicks off with a tremendous match between Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins. Just as good. I think it was better than Extreme Rules, to be honest. And it was a great dynamic. Dean and Drew facing off, making me want to see a match between those two. I almost was going to bank on Ambrose McIntyre on Monday this week, but we got Ambrose and Ziggler instead.
The original plan was for Ambrose and McIntyre. They changed it throughout the course of the day.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
What was your thoughts on the opening match, Matt?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a great way to kick off the show. And exactly what I told you was going to happen. If Dean wasn't going to turn, Seth was taking that title back. And that's exactly what happened.
And Darryl, you weren't in on that match yet then, were you?
I caught half of it. I ended up going back and watching the whole thing. You got two of the best actual natural wrestlers, actual natural athletes in the WWE. Have them go at it, and they put on a hell of a match to open up. They set tone for the whole pay-per-view.
And thankfully the pay-per-view kind of maintained it this time, where a lot of times a WWE pay-per-view is not maintaining it. Bella Twins were interviewed by Renee Young. They're talking about, of course, Evolution and Ronda Rousey and her title match later on. They're going to be in the front row to witness history, which makes you think, oh, are the Bellas going to screw Ronda or something? But
that was my first thought. I'm like, oh, God, they're going to fucking ruin this pay-per-view, aren't they?
I guess there's a rumor out there.
That was definitely my first thought.
I guess there's a rumor out there that Ronda and Nikki might be facing each other at Evolution, though.
Yeah, I bet you that was Cena's suggestion.
Do you think? God, have you seen Mr.
Hey, Vince, I think you should put my ex up against Ronda Rousey and let her get ragdolled around a bit. All right, pal.
You got it, pal. And have you seen the recent photos of jacked up John Cena? Holy crap.
Can't say that I have.
Yeah, he looks like his steroids took steroids.
Oh, God.
Bludgeon Brothers took on the New Day. About 10-minute match here. Good match, I thought. Good pacing on this match. Ended with a DQ, and I said to myself, why is there a DQ finish at SummerSlam? And then another one happened later. But, what can you say? What'd you think of what'd you think of Harper, Rowan, and Woods and Big E?
I was just mad that the titles didn't change that night.
I really clearly that wasn't the plan,
right?
But bicep tears happened, and they ended up having to go that route anyway.
Yeah.
But I didn't. This is when the food arrived. So I also missed a good portion of this match.
Food.
But I caught the last couple minutes. But look, I'm sorry when the food arrives and the dog loses its mind, and you got to get the food so situated for everybody. Yeah, at that point, I wasn't really paying attention to this match. I didn't expect a title change, so I was right on that regard.
Next up is for the Money in the Bank contract. Kevin Owens wearing a nice little KO in the Bank shirt there. Taking on Braun Strowman. This was a squash match, which led you to believe Strowman's probably getting involved later, right?
This was a major squash match.
And everybody worried about Kevin Owens. Hey, he signed a 5-year deal. He's just fine. He'll be back on top before you know it, so don't worry about that. Triple threat match, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch challenging for Carmella's SmackDown Women's Championship. I thought this was a solid match. Even Carmella looked decent at times. That could be, of course, because of the other two women in the ring. But I thought this was a well-worked triple threat match. And then how about the shocker at the end after after the disarmor is applied by Becky Lynch on Carmella, Flair comes out of nowhere and hits a natural selection for the pinfall to win the Women's Championship and tie Trish Stratus for 7 title reigns. But it was the aftermath that everybody was talking about. What'd you think of the Becky Lynch face turn there, Matt?
Honestly, that was the most entertaining part of the entire match was the aftermath, in my opinion, because I think Carmella brings everything down that she's involved with. Crowd, I know you're joking about the face turn for Becky.
Yeah. On paper, for Vince, it said heel, but
yeah, but at the same token, the crowd absolutely loved the fact that Becky laid out Charlotte, and a lot of people feel the same way.
Well, everybody wanted her to win. Brooklyn wanted her.
They wanted her to win. They're tired of Charlotte being the female Roman Reigns, and they want something different. And well, look, let's Trish took years to become a 7-time women's champion, and what Charlotte's done in like 2 or 3 years.
Basically,
like it's ridiculous. So it's too much, and after a while, people notice that it's too much, and people get sick of it. People feel Becky has been given like the short end of the stick for years, which she has, and now people are willing to stand up and voice their displeasure for it. I think it's great. I think something that's very telling is her interview on SmackDown, where she had a couple lines where she kind of like got on the fans.
Yeah.
And of course the fans ignored it. The clip that WWE uploaded to their website from that promo, all the lines of her trashing the crowd were taken out.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that means WWE after the pay-per-view and after Tuesday we're like, you know what? Maybe we should just roll with Becky being the babyface here and Charlotte being the heel.
Yeah, remember they tried that.
I think we'll know a lot more in like when SmackDown's in Toronto next week.
Yeah, remember they tried that with Bayley a few months ago, and crowd popped for her doing that, and well, she never turned heel really. So, well, she never really trashed the crowd though in any promos like Becky did. I mean, Becky didn't really trash the crowd. She just said, she kind of just said, you weren't really behind me. You were cheering. You were standing up and cheering for her when she won the title. And yeah, but good stuff though. I loved it, and different for different side of Becky, and people love it. And
I don't know what Becky was watching because they were booing the shit out of Charlotte when she won the title.
Yeah. Yeah, the Brooklyn definitely wanted her to win here,
and for good reason, Absolutely.
Probably my match of the night was the WWE Championship between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. It's just the beginning, which is I was complaining about a DQ finish when the Bludgeon Brothers did it. And then we got a second DQ finish on a SummerSlam, and normally,
but this DQ finish made sense.
This DQ finish made more than sense. It was
absolutely,
it was great. Tail end of the match, Joe has Styles bloodied, and grabs the mic, and one of AJ's daughters is there with AJ's wife Wendy in the crowd, and Joe turns to them and says, I made you a promise that Daddy was coming home. It looks like you're not, but I'll be your new daddy. Oh, that line by Joe was just fucking great, wasn't it?
That was definitely enough to make AJ snap.
AJ snapped, and he snapped really well. He beat the shit out of Joe, then grabbed a chair and beat the shit out of Joe some more with the steel chair, which, of course, caused the DQ about 23 minutes into the match. It was only the start of the feud, and it's going to keep on going, which I'm very happy with. It'd be interesting to see how far they take this feud, but
I'm hoping they take it to a Joe title win.
I think that's going to be the end destination. I'm pretty sure.
I think that's what everybody wants to see.
Of course, I mean, shit. We thought it was going to lead to a Nakamura title win too, didn't we? At some point, at any point during that feud. So, but I mean, shit, Joe's been money for the company on the mic and in the ring. Anybody deserves it, it's Joe to be a WWE champion. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Elias showed up and tried to play a concert, but his guitar broke. Whoops. The crowd chants you fucked up and you deserve it. Apparently,
it was a really weird segment.
Apparently, they canceled the concert due to low ticket sales.
Yep. You can't announce something like that last minute and expect people to change their plans.
Yeah.
It was a bad move on WWE's part. That would have been announced months ago. They would have freaking they would have got the tickets sold that they wanted to get sold. That to me that wasn't on Elias. That was on WWE.
Next up is Daniel Bryan and The Miz, and much like AJ and Samoa Joe, we got what we wanted here with the feud definitely continuing past SummerSlam, right?
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
And good old Brass Knucks. Always like a good old Brass Knucks cheat every once in a while. And Maurice handed Miz some knucks, and that was it. What did you guys think of the Miz Bryant match?
It was solid. Miz imitating Bryan and Bryan come back at him. Vince again extending this feud to for how long we don't know, but it was a good match overall.
Yeah, I think they gave us a solid match. I think they held things back for probably whatever will be the finale of this probably Survivor Series, maybe the finale. Who knows?
I think this feud's going all the way to WrestleMania.
That would be great. I would love it.
I would love it.
Obviously, we know Hell in a Cell already booked. Mixed tag match, Brie and Daniel take on Maurice and Miz, so that's already in the books. Yeah, I would love it. I would love for Joe and AJ to go to WrestleMania too, man. I mean, they could. Those are two feuds that, if booked well, which thankfully they're on SmackDown, not Raw. So if booked well, you could stretch these things out towards WrestleMania, both of those feuds, and still be great. Because I mean, shit, Joe and AJ have got history, and well, you've seen the videos of Bryan and Miz, 8 years of history leading up to this point. So, like I said, SummerSlam, the two main events were those two matches. They went back to back. So.
Yeah, they were definitely the two main matches I was most looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Next up was Finn Balor, Constable Corbin, and the Demon makes his return. And I was like, why would you make the Demon come back against Corbin? And Matt, you said you had an explanation for that.
Well, clearly they didn't want to do a marathon show. Like everybody expected this pay-per-view to go to midnight. So they decided if they could shorten the length of 3 matches, they could cut the sucker down to end around 11, and they did. The Demon being at SummerSlam made perfect sense in order to squash Corbin. Because, I mean, at least KO got a super kick in on Strowman. Bear didn't get shit.
Nope.
on Balor. The only reason I have an issue with it...
He shit his pants. That's about all he got.
The only reason I have an issue with it is because you bring out the Demon at SummerSlam, but you got a Universal title match on Raw the next night.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you don't bring the Demon.
Yep.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yep.
To me, that's where, like, the storyline falters. Because if you brought out the Demon the night before in the same building against Corbin, you're getting the biggest match of your career, arguably, the next night, and you don't bring the Demon out. And I know their excuse, well, if we made him the Demon, he had to win. Well, here's an idea. Then you could have had Roman Reigns face somebody else.
Right.
Because by having him get that title shot and him not using the Demon against Roman, it made Finn look stupid.
Yeah.
So that was my main. I didn't. I had no problem with it on Sunday night, but I kind of had a problem with it by the time Raw was over.
And
that's why.
And this was Vince's golden ticket to get the crowd maybe to accept Reigns more. I mean, Reigns gave Balor that shot that he's never had. He's never had that one-on-one Universal title shot ever since he got injured. So Reigns gave that to him. First action he did as Universal Champion after that came off the milk carton finally. He gave Finn Balor his title shot. Enduring Reigns,
I think he should have just done an open challenge and fought somebody else.
Yeah, but
I think it would have been better off to do like Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
or something like that instead. I think doing Finn after seeing the Demon 24 hours earlier, I thought that was a disservice to Finn and his character as a whole.
Yeah,
I thought it was a poorly planned idea for WWE. I get what they were trying to do, but it wasn't the right idea to go.
Yeah,
it wasn't smart at all.
But if Balor without the Demon was able to beat Reigns, the crowd would
he has before.
Yes, he has before, and the crowd would have been more enduring to Reigns because Reigns is not overbooked again. He drops the title one day later. He gave Finn Balor that chance that he didn't have for 3 years, or 2 or 3 years, however long it was. It was a golden ticket for, though Vince probably doesn't care because Roman's getting boos and cheers, and Vince likes the noise. So it maybe to Vince it really doesn't matter as long as there's noise.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't care.
Yeah. So
it didn't matter. I mean, the tickets were the Raw after SummerSlam was sold out anyway. So he could have gave you a piece of shit on a daggone plate, and he would have sold out to Barclays. So that's pretty much what it was.
Next up, United States title, Nakamura Hardy. I was kind of happy Orton did not get involved at all in this one. Gave Nakamura a clean win to end the feud with Hardy and move on. I thought it was a decent match. Of course, Hardy taking the daredevil risks of trying to do a swanton onto the apron is what cost him here.
That should have never been done.
Oh, that hurt.
That can't feel good.
Dude, as old as he is and as much trouble as he's been having moving around the past couple months, that was one of the stupidest things he could have done was take that bump on Sunday.
Yeah.
Your brother is working production for the company right now because he's too banged up to wrestle, and you're going to take a stunt like that? Come on, Jeff. You got to be smarter than that.
Yeah.
You really, really do.
What was up with Orton going to the ring and then walking away? Was that just to get a rise out of the crowd after his music hit, or that was just weird?
Got payday.
He got the.
That's what it was. He got the SummerSlam payday by appearing on the show. That's all that was.
Okay.
Best payday ever.
Bliss and Rousey.
I'll walk out and walk back to the curtain for a payday.
Fuck yeah, I will. Bliss and Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. This went down as it should. A complete squash with Rousey.
It was so great.
Yeah, it was glorious.
I wonder if Orton walked back to the backstage area, walked in the girl, and said, "I feel like Brock Lesnar."
Now I know how Brock feels, and damn it, I want the Universal title now. No.
Yeah. No, Rousey's squash and Bliss made my night.
It was great. I loved Ronda trash talking while she had Bliss up on her shoulders, like, "You ready for a new women's champion?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" It was great, and on top of that, having Natalya walk out with her was even special, for the crowd to kind of pay their respects to Natalya after losing her father, and just seeing the celebration. It was kind of funny that the Bellas jumped in on the celebration. Brooklyn kind of booed at that, but it is what it is, and there wasn't any chicanery. It was just a celebration to celebrate a woman that seriously reminds me of Kurt Angle, that's picked up the business coming from another sport, picked it up so quickly, and is doing a hell of a job with it. I mean, this is seriously Kurt Angle in 2018, don't you think?
Yeah, I can't think of anybody else other than Angle that has picked it up as quickly as she has.
Yeah, that's been from day one. That's crazy.
And the top of the ramp, Rousey and Natalya hug again, and Rousey says this is for Jim Neidhart and Roddy Piper. Very cool moment indeed. It's time for the pseudo main event. The main event's already had happened when AJ Styles took on Joe and Daniel Bryan took on The Miz. But the final match of the evening was for the Universal title, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. But okay, stop me if I'm wrong here, but Braun Strowman comes out. Crowd goes nuts. Did they bring Braun out there to keep the crowd from hijacking this main event?
Yep.
Duh.
Yeah.
They brought him out for two reasons. One, to keep the crowd from hijacking the main event. Two, to keep the crowd from leaving.
Yep.
Because the crowd there was sections of the crowd already getting up and walking out.
Yeah.
And when Braun's music hit, they all went back to their seats. I know people that were in the building that told me that firsthand.
Yeah, I heard the same thing.
There were tons of groups getting up and leaving as those entrances were happening. And as soon as hit, they all came running back to their seats.
Hey, Matt, do it again.
If I do that, I won't be able to talk the rest of the show, and I got a lot more to talk about coming up here. So Strowman says he refuses to cash in when his opponent's back is turned. He prefers to do things face to face. And he said, "Good luck to Reigns and good luck to the Beastie Boy." I always love it when Strowman calls Lesnar the Beastie Boy. Lesnar and Reigns have a 6-minute match, and hell, he took out Strowman, so I guess that took out that equation. What did you guys think of the end of everything here on SummerSlam?
I'm
just happy the part-time bitch is dead.
Yeah, I'm just tired of seeing Brock. I'm sorry. I'm just tired of seeing him.
Yeah.
Like you have, and I think that's part of the reason. I mean, quote me if I'm wrong, but that's part of maybe a little bit of reason why both brands do one pay-per-view, because you have only you only have one big title, and that's the WWE title. You see the Universal title every fourth pay-per-view.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was more about the moment of finally getting that fucking title off of Lesnar, even though it's on Reigns, but hey.
Because a lot of people were to the point where they didn't give a fuck who took it from him. Just as long as somebody did and got rid of him, and he's gone.
Yep.
You know, he's all UFC now. Like we don't have to worry about Brock for a long time.
Yeah.
We'll probably have to worry about him after Cormier beats his ass.
True.
In January. Because once he gets his ass beat in the UFC, he's going to come crawling back to Vince.
Oh, you know he will.
And if I'm Vince, I'm like, well, you just got your ass beat, pal. You're not getting the same money deal that you had when you left.
You're doing
and you're going to be and if you're going to be working for less money and more dates.
And house shows.
And if you don't like it, then there's the door.
And
be gone.
And you're
get the fuck out.
And you're going to be doing the JOB to some people.
Yeah, I would totally. If I'm Vince, I'm like, I have all the cards now.
Pretty much.
If he goes in there and gets his ass beat by Cormier, which I really and truly believe he will, when he comes crawling back to WWE, Vince is the one in power at this point, and Brock's power that he's had over them for years is completely gone.
Yeah, because if he loses to Cormier, he's 5-4.
And I don't even think it's going to be close. I think Cormier is going to embarrass his ass. So,
well, gentlemen, shall we talk about being the elite?
Of course.
SCU.
Episode 116. As we are heading towards All In. All In is a week from Saturday. It's hard to believe it's already almost here. We'll do our predictions for the card next week's show. Episode 116 starts, I believe, at Flip Gordon's house. I would assume that's Flip Gordon's house. And for those that have watched the wrestling documentary from about 2001, I would say, about that year, around that year, called Beyond the Mat, you might see something familiar in Being the Elite as Flip and Matt Jackson recreate a scene, and Matt even starts talking like Terry Funk, which was just fucking hilarious, Matt.
Dude, the whole segment was phenomenal.
And then when he walks,
the walk was hilarious.
He like stumbles because he's crippled.
Like the BTE was the week of parodies this week between them and the SCU video, and I loved every moment of it. I just thought the stuff was fantastic.
Matt, and Matt actually saw my tweet and liked it, and liked my praise for him impersonating the Funker. Of course, if you haven't seen it basically it's this older wrestler. He never really even made it. I don't even know what his name was.
Dennis Stamp.
Okay. And Funk wanted him at his retirement. It was first of 85 retirement shows. And you egg sucking dog. And they basically almost went line for line on some of that shit. It was great. It's like, but I'm not even on the card. as Matt tries to get him to be the guest referee, which was what Funk tried to get Dennis on that show was to referee. And it was hilarious for damn sure. And then so Matt texts Cody and goes, I know you don't want him wrestling on the show, but we'd like to have him for our special referee for our Dream 6-man match. And Cody replies, no. And then, no. He sends like 5 no's and then goes, no!
No!
Poor Flip.
Poor Flip.
We'll get him a luchador mask and
yeah, but now he's hosting that all-out viewing party.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, he's seriously, and after all this, is he seriously not going to be on the show? Like, that's such a dick move.
Where's the all-out party? It's got to be
somewhere in Chicago.
I think it's in a hotel in Chicago, I think.
Because he's hosting the all-out party outside in the parking lot before the show.
So he could go to the show and guys, I got to step away for a minute. Wink, wink. All of a sudden he's there, and then he comes back to the party. And is the lethal match that same night, or is that to be determined?
Yeah, it's same night.
Same night.
Oh, I got. Hey, I'm back. Oh wait, I got to step away for about a half hour. I'll be right back here, and then I'll be right back, and we can continue the party.
I guess it all is going to come down to how close this venue is to where All In is. Like, I don't know.
The boys are in Japan, and they are reunited with Cody Rhodes as the G1 finals are set. And who is the dude in the lucha mask that Nick and Matt are bribing?
It's Chico, motherfucker.
It's Chico.
You watched some earlier episodes of Being the Elite, you know all about Chico.
I will get there eventually. But apparently he's getting paid off for some reason, right?
I think they want to borrow his mask to put it on Flip.
Ah. So Chico's in the over-budget Battle Royal, but it's actually Flip. Then you get a kind of an insight of just how rough stuff that the people don't see from like the Young Bucks is just how rough the travel is, and they're eating dinner at an airport, just talking about they're going to be home for like a day, and then they got to turn around and go back overseas, and it's going to be 24 hours of flying, and it's just insane, isn't it?
Their schedules for being non-WWE talents, their travel schedule is insane.
Yeah, Japan. England,
maybe
Australia.
Maybe that's why they're going to NXT, so they don't have to travel as much.
Their traveling schedule would be greatly reduced if they signed with WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like even WWE guys get to be home like 2 to 3 days a week.
Yep, every week.
Which is a lot more than the Bucks get to have right now. Like, I don't want them to go to WWE, but if they're doing it because of their family, I get it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I completely get it. I understand it. Doesn't mean I have to be happy about it. because I just don't have faith in WWE once they're on the main roster. I just don't have the faith that they'll be used properly.
Christopher Daniels on the back of the bus, cutting a promo on Stephen Amell as we head to that all-in match. SCU!
SCU!
Paige is yet to find a pair of cowboy boots.
Somebody needs to just buy him a pair of shoes.
The Bucks decide they're going to just, try to make it as uncomfortable as possible and walk around town barefoot as well. And they run into Marty and where are your fucking shoes? Don't ask Paige where his shoes are. If Hangman was near a phone, Marty might have been dead by now. It was a good thing that Paige was not near a phone. The return of the talking cowboy boots, that was great. But it was all a dream. Where are those cowboy boots, by the way?
He threw them out in Japan.
Yep.
That's right. I wonder, He keeps having dreams of the talking cowboy boots. I wonder if somebody picked them up in Japan. Then apparently the Bucks played a
Joey Ryan will be wearing them and All In.
Yeah, there you go. The Bucks played a prank on Marty, I guess, and told the driver to take off without him. We get to see a little insight into backstage at Ring of Honor. Marty working on his entrance there, and they go back back to Japan after they showed the ROH stuff, as Okada and Marty Scurll, they cross paths, and and Okada says 205.
That was hilarious.
And
Okada, you dick.
Zack Sabre Jr. shows up, hands Scurll some water and some Monster and some coffee. You're fucked, mate. But that's not it for being the Elite this week, is it? About a day later, Tuesday, so to speak, we got ourselves a little training video, didn't we, Matt?
It was awesome.
Explain to the kids exactly what you could find on the Being the Elite YouTube channel. Explain to the kids exactly what this training video was all about.
SCU did a Rocky 3 parody training video leading into their match with the Briscoes and All In, and it was fucking awesome. So fucking good.
I loved it. I loved Kaz talking like Rocky. The punch drunk in Rocky.
It was so good. Like, honestly, if you're a fan of SCU or Rocky or both, like, I would be blown away if you didn't enjoy this segment. I was dying laughing the whole time. The spot with Daniels and Kaz on the beach,
yeah,
where Daniels realized he was playing the part of Adrian,
yeah,
fucking hilarious, man.
Wait, oh, shit, are you quoting Rocky 3? Daniels was all mad because they were working out and he had a big breakfast, so he couldn't work out with him. It was just some good stuff. Go check that out on the Being the Elite channel. Of course, the guys here love Being the Elite, and this was just truly a great little side, a little bonus. Speaking of the Elite, this came down today, Wednesday, during a media call to promote the All-In pay-per-view, which is September 1st. Cody was asked about future plans of additional All-In events, and instead he revealed that he, Kenny Omega, Adam Page, and the Young Bucks have made a verbal commitment to each other that their move will be made together. Cody says, as far as what's next, I really wish I could answer. A lot has happened in the last few weeks. A lot of discussions about the future. One thing that's special about this, and I have to be rather cagey in answering, one thing that is special about this group is we have verbally committed to each other. I don't know if that's ever been done in the history of professional wrestling, but where I have verbally committed to the Bucks, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, there's this verbal commitment that the next step we take together is, because it's no secret, our contracts are all up. what happens next? That's the next step we take. We're all going to take it together. We're all going to take it as a family. It could be the dumbest move ever. Wrestling is sort of a shady business, and we can do what my gut tells me the right call. Cody and the Bucks deal with Ring of Honor expires at the end of the year. Omega's deal with New Japan expires in January. No word on when Page's deal expires, but more
Clearly
than likely
it has to be in the same time frame.
Yep, and one guy Matt mentioned before we were on the air, one guy not mentioned on here, of course, Marty Scurll, because he signed a longer-term deal with Ring of Honor. So, obviously, Matt showed me this while I was watching Being the Elite tonight after work, and, I said to myself, this was one or two things. I go, especially, it was kind of weird timing. Matt sends me this while I'm watching Being the Elite, at the exact moment that the Bucks are talking about how they don't see their families as much. Their traveling is so grueling. I mean, shit, they just talked about crossing 1 million miles for frequent flyer. I mean, it's insane, the travel. So I'm like, well, they must be all going to the WWE. Maybe there's some conversations, not contract conversations, but maybe conversations where they think, if we demand this and this, like maybe they have the creative control, or they only answer to Triple H and not Vince. Vince may be gone by then anyways, with XFL being about a year away at that point. Who knows, So I immediately thought the WWE, just because, I was watching the Bucks here talking about how grueling it is and how they don't see their families. My other guess was they start their own promotion, which, it may sound far-fetched, but, I mean, look what they did with All In. I mean, this is huge. And so maybe it's not far-fetched for Cody and the Bucks to start their own promotion, and Hangman and Kenny kind of be the cornerstones of that foundation. Which Matt, you said you had another idea coming off of that.
Yeah, because, look, the money that it would require for those guys to start their own promotion isn't intelligent for them to do. It's going to cost way too much money, and all their savings and stuff that they've built up, that doesn't make any sense. If they're not going to sign with WWE, their best course of action at this point, if it's available to them, is to buy a stake in Ring of Honor. And to have some control there behind the scenes to help make Ring of Honor even bigger than it already is now. Mm-hmm. And that would be that, I want them to stay. I want them to stay with ROH because I'm afraid of how WWE is going to use them, and I feel if they bought a stake within the company, that they would feel comfortable being there for the long haul.
Yeah. I don't feel as bad because I still am under the belief that Vince is going to be further away from the company at that point. There's already proof that he's further away from the company. I think it's going to be even much more of a distance by the time we hit 6 months from now or whatnot. But I don't hate the ROH stake idea either, and the fact, I mean, they partnered up with Honor Club to broadcast All In. A lot of Ring of Honor personnel is going to be a part of All In, like Ian Riccaboni, Bobby Cruz. So that's definitely something I didn't even think of, but a possibility. But I trust me, I'm not writing WWE off on this. This is maybe their chance to together do something on the biggest stage and sign a fat deal that helps their families for years to come. And can't fault anybody with that.
Well, here's a scary thought.
Yeah.
With Don Callis running Impact, can you count Impact out?
God, I hope so.
That ship is going downhill. Jim Cornette said it the best on his podcast. Ring of Honor is getting ready to go to the mainstream, and Impact's going the other way right now. I mean,
I'm just saying it's not something you can count out. Clearly, the relationship those guys have with Callis is pretty pretty big.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I think it's a stretch, but I think them all going to Impact would be more likely than them starting their own promotion.
Yes, I would say that.
Because if you don't think they can go to Impact and write their own ticket as the Elite, come on. Yeah. Like, they easily could do that.
But the funny thing is, being the Elite is getting more views on YouTube than Impact is getting views on their television show. So,
it would surely bring eyes to the Impact product for a change now, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I just don't see it. I don't see that really as an option, though. Never even crossed my mind. I think the ROH stake in ROH is a lot more likely than that. So it'll be interesting. I mean,
what do you think of all this craziness, Darryl?
I just hope to God they don't go to Impact.
See, Darryl would much rather have them roll the dice with Vince than he would with Ed.
I'll just say this: as a father, as a husband, I get it if they go to WWE because you get to see your family. Like you said, Matt, you're home 2-3 times a week. You know, it's not like you're traveling from Japan. You're in Japan for 3 weeks,
and then you come paid. Back.
Right. I mean,
imagine how much they get to see their family if they worked for Impact.
Every day.
Yeah.
A good portion of days.
Yeah. I mean, I get it if they decide to make that change. The stake in Ring of Honor makes a lot of sense as well.
It does.
To try to make it as the number 2 wrestling company in the world.
Because I just feel like it would be smart of ROH to do that, because not only would they be locking them into new deals, but if they have a stake in the company, it would be really hard for them to want to leave when their next deals were up.
But you got to think, too, how often does Ring of Honor travel as well? Most of their shows, unless they're in another country, are their tapings or they're on tour is Fridays and Saturdays, maybe a Sunday.
Well, a lot of their travel schedules revolve around the independents that they do overseas in Japan.
Yes, I mean,
is really I guess we could get to a point where ROH pays these guys so much that they don't have to do the overseas independents.
Right. But who
knows how much money that needs to be?
It's going to have to be more than 6 figures. I'll tell you that.
I hear they're already I hear the 3 that I don't know about Paige. Probably not. But as far as I know, the Bucks and Cody are already making 6 figures in Ring of Honor right now.
Oh, I know that for a fact. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
But you got to remember too, that's the money that they're getting from Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
God knows how much money they're getting from they're selling their own merch from the Hot Topic deal.
Plus, plus PWG. They go all over.
Well, PWG is the only other U.S. promotion they can work for.
Yeah.
Like, all their other work comes, from the UK.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
like I said, that Hot Topic deal alone puts money in their pocket.
That's very true.
Matt's wife, pretty much runs the YoungBuzzMerch.com. And how much money are they getting from that? I mean, they're advertising for, what is it? What is the website? High Spots now. So they might be getting money for that.
Dad, that's not High Spots. Oh!
You're stupid.
Well, that's a warrior's cry.
But I mean, it's all in because like I said, they're getting older. And, after a while, your kids are getting older. You don't get to see your kids that much. You don't get to see your kids walk, monumental moments in your kid's life that you want to see. So like I said, WWE may not be the worst move, but if they can negotiate something with Ring of Honor, where it may be a year or 2 or something like that, and that span of time where Vince leaves and hands the company over to Trips, then I'm all for it.
Oh yeah, I'm not afraid of all of them coming over if Triple H is in charge.
Yeah,
I'm just afraid of what's going to happen If they they get over there and they get on the main roster, they got to deal with Vince.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely.
It'll be definitely. It's going to be definitely an interesting start to the year once Wrestle Kingdom 13 is in the books.
We're going to know a lot more before then, though.
True.
I think we will.
Like we're going to know what's going on with the Bucks and Cody before Wrestle Kingdom even gets there.
I'm going to tell you where you're going to find. You're going to find out at Final Battle in December.
Dude, they're not even contracted for Final Battle. Bucks deal's up in November.
I thought it was December.
I've been told from people that the Bucks deal is up in November.
Yeah, I think it's November.
Well, we'll see a Death Before Dishonor then.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, honestly, look, let's be real, Darryl. The show we're going to in October might be one of the last shows that they're all on if they don't resign.
That's true.
So, that's crazy in itself to think about.
I just see them resigning though.
I really, really want them to stay because I think professional wrestling as a whole will take a gigantic hit if in one fell swoop WWE picks up the Bucks, Cody, Hangman Page, and Kenny Omega.
This is going to have to negotiate a hell of a contract because nobody wants to see being the elite go off of YouTube. Nobody wants to see people.
Well, yeah, we're losing being the elite if they go to WWE.
Yeah, and then Vince is very, very greedy. The Bucks control 100% of their own merch. So imagine, Vince is going to probably take a substantial cut of their merch.
Yep.
And I just don't see them giving that up like that. They're going to have to have. It's going to have to be a hell of a contract for them to go to WWE.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Other headlines.
These next few months are going to be crazy.
Yeah.
For real. It's going to be these next 4 months, September to December, is going to be nuts for the entire future of this business because it rests in the hands of 5 guys right now in what they choose to do.
Like I said, like I was telling you guys earlier, I don't see them leaving, especially when you sold out. They sold out their first pay-per-view where they funded everything. So that goes great. Yeah, I don't see that's done. One all in ever, and not an all in 2 or all in 3 or all in 4.
Well, look if they announce All In 2 on September 1st, we're safe.
Right.
Because if they announce All In 2, we already know what's going to happen. So, I mean, that would be the universal celebration for wrestling fans everywhere. If by the end of that night they announce All In 2 and where it's going to be.
Yeah.
That will just be, boom.
Right.
We'll be good to go because it wouldn't be this year. Like,
no.
In time to get everything ready for All In 2, it easily had to be in 2019.
Yeah. Well, here's another factor. What's happening in New York in April, outside of WrestleMania?
G1 Supercard.
Yes. And if you don't have Cody, the Bucks, Paige, or Kenny, is it worth going to see?
Well, ROH would argue that the show's already sold out, so it doesn't matter.
That's true, but would you want to watch it from your house? Or you get excited over it? Because the idea, if you're doing the G1 Supercard, then you're trying to top what WWE is doing that weekend, and I don't think they can do that without those guys.
You know what makes me really mad about that G1 Supercard?
What's that?
I've been told that the reason why they're not running Madison Square Garden in the afternoon so they don't have to go head-to-head with TakeOver that night is because New Japan wants to air this show live on New Japan World, and they don't want their fans to have to get up in the middle of the night to watch their show.
Are you serious?
Yes. Fuck you, New Japan, because all of us motherfuckers get up in the middle of the night to watch your important shows. You Japanese people can freaking get up one fucking night in the middle of the night to watch the damn G1 Supercard. When I heard that shit pissed me off.
I'm getting up for work. I'm at work at 6:30 in the morning. The shit's still going on.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Cody's saying a lot has changed. A lot has happened over the last 4 weeks. It's like, he's just talking about the last 4 weeks. I mean, the All In's been sold out for a while now. It's weird. It could be anything. And like Cody said, something happened or something was discussed, something over the past month, and for Cody to say that publicly. So it could be anything. It's gonna be an interesting ride for sure.
Stay tuned, folks.
That's for damn sure. Big Show is close to being cleared to return to the ring. Initial reports are it could have been as soon as this Sunday, but we have not seen him yet, obviously. On the other side of things, Sin Cara has to go to Birmingham, Alabama to get some scar tissue surgically removed from his knee. No timetable for his return there, but a little better diagnosis than we had originally thought, just because when you go to Birmingham, Alabama, you're usually gone for a long time. Last week, Chris Jericho sent out an interesting tweet. 2019 is going to be an interesting year. # free agent Jericho.
That motherfucker's going to be on the G1 Supercard.
Yeah. The only place
I think it's going to be his first ever United States event since working for Vince.
Yeah.
I really and truly believe he's going to be on that show.
It will make sense. He still has an Intercontinental title, right?
Yeah. He's the Brock Lesnar of New Japan.
There it is.
Some rare matches added to the WWE Network as you get to see AJ Styles, a young AJ Styles, take on Rick Michaels in a dark match in 2001. From UPW in 2001, Samoa Joe taking on Tommy Dreamer. FCW 2011, Roman Reigns and Corey Graves squaring off. Of course, at this time it was Liaki, is that how you say his name from FCW? Roman?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know either. And then Brock Lesnar against The Undertaker in Finland from 2003. Some rare matches added to the network. New title matches have been announced for Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor, the next pay-per-view, scheduled on September 28th in the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. Okada, Trent Beretta, Ishii, Rocky Romero, and Chucky T are going to take on the Young Bucks, Cody Marty, and Hangman Page. For the TV title, Chris Sabin and Punishment Martinez. The tag team titles, The Addiction against the Briscoes. Also, Liger and Kushida will be in action at Death Before Dishonor as well. AJ Styles reached a milestone last week. He became the longest reigning champion in SmackDown history, passing JBL, who still blocks me on Twitter.
Who cares?
I know. I'm just joking. AJ Styles, I mean, hell. I mean, it was hard to fathom him being in the WWE at one point. Now he's like approaching, close to 300 days as champion now. It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's nuts. I always thought he'd get there someday, but I never thought they'd allow him to have the success that he's having right now.
No surprise here, WWE has announced Australian television deals for Raw and SmackDown ahead of their big Super Show that comes up in October. A few more matches were also added to that card. I think the Shield is taken on, is going to be in action. And of course, Undertaker, Triple H, last time ever, once in a lifetime. We'll see. Coming up September 6th, MLW has their television tapings. Low Key will have a new challenger for his World Championship. Ray Phoenix will be challenging Low Key for the MLW World Championship there at those television tapings coming up soon. For Mike Johnson of PW Insider, they have an exclusive on Dolph Ziggler and his contractual status. Mike Johnson actually had the opportunity to speak with Ziggler following an appearance at a Be a Star rally in New York. And his current deal is expected to expire this summer. And Ziggler said, I feel like you'll have to see Sunday or Monday, but I've heard that the deal is coming up. I've also heard about several different contracts that I've signed that I haven't signed. He asked Ziggler about that, and he said if he was going to give him a no comment, and he responded, so I'm going to give you a comment. I've been doing some great work and looking forward to doing what I do on Sunday or Monday. We'll see what direction we're heading afterwards. Of course, Ziggler's been in the WWE since 2004. Originally debuted as a member of the Spirit Squad. The Dolph Ziggler gimmick debuted in 2008, and he's been in with the WWE ever since. Obviously, a bigger push with Drew McIntyre, the pairing since then, and of course has become Intercontinental Champion once again. Matt, what do you think? What do you think? Is Dolph going to be on his way out the door, or do you think he's still going to stick around? There, Matt?
Where'd he go?
I don't know. Well, do you think he's sticking around, Darryl?
Yeah, I think he is.
Think he's that company man?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, lately he's been doing some good work, especially him and Drew, and they're showing some faith in him when they did put the IC title on him. I think he stays, and pretty much he pretty much can negotiate his own deal.
Yeah, I think he's one of those. Of course, we thought that was going to be Jericho for the longest time too, the company man. But of course, Jericho's a different situation. He is gone at months at a time just because of his other commitments. Where Dolph is not. Dolph is not. So I think he's just I think Dolph is that company man. I'm sure some of his promos about being taken seriously, being pushed. There's probably a lot of truth to that. But in the end, I think he's still happy where he's at.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah, the moment he won that Intercontinental title from Seth Rollins, I thought, God, it'd be amazing if Drew then got built up to be the one to take it from Lesnar. But not quite yet, but I think Drew is going to be in that Universal Championship picture sometime in the next 12 months, I think.
Yeah, I see that as well. You got between him and Owens for sure. I think those are going to be the top two heels going after that title. Yeah,
if and when Strowman cashes in Money in the Bank, I could see Drew being the guy to take the title off of Strowman.
I would love to see Drew and Strowman.
Yeah, I think it's possible that, or it's not out of the realm of possibility of that guy beating Strowman. So, God, they've booked him so well. I'm happy with how they've booked Drew in the WWE. You always kind of wonder after he reinvented himself, but he's stayed true to himself the whole time, and I'm happy about that. So, Northeast Wrestling, they have announced that Rey Mysterio has been pulled from their August 24th event due to his pending contractual agreement with the WWE. So basically that says, Rey's been signed. So probably more official words of that probably to be coming very soon. But Darryl, it sounds like Rey is going to be back.
Booyaka, booyaka.
Now, this is pretty cool. This is actually a truly a great show, a great series on Netflix. Darryl, have you ever heard of The Toys That Made Us?
No.
It's great. There's a few episodes out there now, and it's just like a documentary series. They've already done 2 seasons now. I know there's like Legos is obviously one of them, and I'd have to go back, but I'm gonna have to go back here just to see. They did one on Masters of the Universe, Star Wars, the Star Wars franchise, and whatnot. It's a really cool documentary if you've got Netflix. And coming up in season 3, they're going to be doing a WWE action figures episode of the Toys That Made Us. So
I might have to check that out.
Yeah, it'll be really cool to check that out. Matt, have you ever heard of the Toys That Made Us on Netflix?
The first 2, I haven't seen all the episodes, but I've seen a couple of the episodes on the first 2 seasons. I think it's a lot of fun. And season 3, honestly, it almost defines my childhood, because the season 3 of the episodes are WWE,
Ninja Turtles, and Power Rangers. My Little Pony.
And not My Little Pony. That's the Fortnite. That doesn't define my childhood. That might define my sister's childhood, but it doesn't define mine. If you would have swapped out My Little Pony for the Ghostbusters, and it would have been those 4, that would have instantly been all 4 toy lines that really did define my childhood. And I am very much looking forward to season 3. I'm going to watch the WWE, the Turtles, and the Power Rangers one as soon as they come out. Yeah, I'm very excited to see those.
Yeah, for me, He-Man was my. I had a shitload of He-Man when I was a.
I had some He-Man stuff too, but it wasn't as big as the other stuff that I named.
Of course, G.I. Joe, Barbie, Transformers, Lego, Star Trek, Star Wars are among the other episodes.
The Star Wars one was really good. The Star Wars episode was really well done.
On the conference call, Triple H shortly after NXT Takeover, he confirmed that Gargano may have dislocated his knee, but as of this recording, we do not have any further information or time frame in regards to that. So Matt Riddle, though, it sounds like he may be also in line to do some work here pretty soon. We'll find out tomorrow once they do the tapings. Edge and Christian were in town for SummerSlam over the weekend. They did not appear on camera, but I wonder if they were maybe did said hi to people and maybe did a little promo work for their upcoming season of the Edge and Christian show that totally reeks of awesomeness, which is completely awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm assuming they were in town to film stuff for that.
Ronda Rousey had a movie come out this weekend, Mile 22, which stars Mark Wahlberg, debuted at the box office in 3rd, taking in $13.5 million nationwide. And Ronda Rousey is in that movie as one of the paramilitary team's members with Mark Wahlberg. After SummerSlam was done and in the books, Natalya, she took to Twitter, posted a picture of her hugging Ronda and said, "I needed tonight so much. I love my friends at work. I love New York. I love how you've been so wonderful to me the last week. More than I could ever imagine. I'm looking forward to a fresh start tomorrow. Thank you." So great tweet from Natty there after SummerSlam. A couple of MLW War Games, as they're going to have their own War Games here in the September 6th taping for MLW. Abyss will be Sami Callihan's mystery man for the event, so he will I make his debut for MLW because I don't think he's been with the company before. So Abyss will be there. There's going to be War Games matches that include Abyss with Sami Callihan and Jimmy Havoc and the Death Machines. They're going to take on John Morrison, Tommy Dreamer, Cota Brazil, Barrington Hughes, and Shane Strickland in the War Games match. That's, of course, also has the title match that I just mentioned with Low Ki and Rey Fenix. There is a Mexican Massacre match between Pentagon Jr. and LA Park. Or La Park? Or maybe it's LA Park. I don't know. PCO takes on Brody King. Also, Maxwell J. Friedman, Filthy Tom Lawler, ACH Rich Swann. The Dirty Blondes will be all a part of the War Games taping. And speaking of ACH, he's going to be taking on Davey Boy Smith Jr. on the War Games card. Netflix Glow. More Netflix news here. Glow has been greenlit for a 3rd season. So for those fans of the show, that will keep on going. And we'll give you more details once we get them as to when that is set to air. As you all know by now, unfortunately, Erick Rowan was injured at SummerSlam. Torn bicep is the diagnosis. He's heading to Alabama, the old Birmingham, Alabama, that old town, for surgery coming up here. And obviously that prompted the title change on SmackDown this week. So he'll be going down there to get officially diagnosed and repair that torn bicep. No word on how long Rowan will be out of the ring, but a torn bicep, that could usually be in the 6 to 9 month region. So it's going to be a little while before we see Rowan. Does this lead to any kind of push that Harper has deserved for years, Matt?
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if this just leads to Harper being off TV again.
Yeah.
I don't feel they're ever going to give him a solid singles push, even though I feel he deserves it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's in the cards for WWE right now. I'd love to be proven wrong, but nothing they have done to me makes me feel like they're ready to step up and give Harper a singles run of any sort of push.
Yeah, I thought it was finally coming with the whole Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt thing, and then like you just said, it kind of disappeared after that off TV for a while, and I don't know. The WWE Evolution pay-per-view, there's an online pre-sale that already is taking place tonight, which is actually just started like literally 4 minutes ago as we're recording. But I'm not sure how quickly it'll sell out, so if you are listening and it's still there, you can use, and you're planning on attending in Long Island, PPV1 and PPV2 are some pre-sale codes for the October 28th event. There is also another code that was launched, NYPPV, that'll work at Ticketmaster, as well as LIBTS. So a few promo codes to get some pre-sale tickets for that Evolution pay-per-view. Interesting Table for Three was filmed over the weekend in New York, involving wives of WWE superstars. Reby Hardy, Kimberly Orton, and Giovanna Angle took part in a Table for Three. That's going to be a pretty fun one, don't you think, guys?
It should be fun. I think those shows are normally pretty entertaining.
And then kind of a segue into that, Matt Hardy with an interesting tweet yesterday morning, actually. I've spent a majority of my life in hotels. There's always long halls with dozens of doors in them. It's great symbolism for where I'm at in my career and life right now. Which door shall I choose? Will I be happy and comfortable in that particular chamber? So to you guys, does it sound like he's kind of pondering
it's a possibility.
Trading the in-ring work for behind-the-scenes work?
I mean, he's already started doing it for, Monday night and Sunday, so I don't see no reason why not.
Yeah, I mean, if his body's too beat up at this point, and WWE wants to offer him a full-time job, being a producer and stuff, I mean, that's the smart money to take when you got a family. Mm-hmm. So
we've already seen what him and Jeremy Borash can come up with, so I think there's definitely worth with him staying in the company. Ratings for the week: Miz and Mrs. dropped a little bit down to 1.16 million, still almost 10 times more than Impact. So, a great show. Have you watched Miz and Mrs. yet, Darryl?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I know Matt. We've already said on the show that both of us love it. So, And shit.
Yeah, dude, it's entertaining as hell.
I mean, it took a all 2 weeks before they got greenlit for a second season, if that tells you anything. So, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, no surprise. After SummerSlam, after the big show, they see some big boosts. Monday Night Raw tops 3 million for the first time, actually, since just after WrestleMania. End of April was the last time they hit the 3 million mark, and they hit that on Monday with 3.095 million. Biggest, strongest was the second hour, 3.24 million, before dropping down to 2.93 million in the third hour. SmackDown Live saw a very sizable boost, up 250,000 people to 2.43 million on Tuesday. And as Matt had said, as we were talking about being the Elite, at the Vic Theater in Chicago, Illinois, Flip is hosting an all-out viewing party because he's not all in. Get it? Get it? So, Vic Theater to the Sears Center.
You gonna look it up?
Yep.
Yeah, why the hell not? Why the hell not?
It's a jaunt. 48 minutes.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. Sheesh.
That's 48 minutes by car.
Dude, he ain't gonna be on the show then. I don't know how else to put it. This sucks. I really wanted him there, but I don't see how he can do the show at that point.
I don't know. Unless he's just unless he leaves. Unless he leaves, you know. He hosts it and leaves. I don't know. I just can't fathom him not being on All In at all.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all.
After all this build-up, you know, there's got to be something. There's got to be.
I guess we're going to find out.
Cable network Viceland has debuted a new pro wrestling documentary series called The Dark Side of the Ring. It's going to come out this fall. The first episode will cover Bruiser Brody's career, and it's going to be narrated by Mick Foley. The series will cover also a number of controversial topics from the pro wrestling world, including Gino Hernandez and much more. So if you have Viceland on your cable channels, there's going to be that coming up this fall. Wale made it a special appearance on 205 Live this week, and a lot of people wonder what that meant for Major League Wrestling, which Wale's been associated with for a long time. Per Mike Johnson, PW Insider, says WWE's made overtures to talents and behind-the-scenes staffers who have been working for MLW in attempts to bring them in. Wale being used last night was not a coincidence, and as seen as an extension of those efforts. So, while everything is still up in the air, the odds of MLW running another Wale Mania event over WrestleMania weekend are not looking good at the moment because it looks like they may have him in the fold.
Yeah.
NXT, of course, is the basically your kickoff show before the main card. A lot of recaps, but not just recaps. They show some great backstage interviews and whatnot. It's still entertaining hour of NXT. 2 matches though in front of the Barclays crowd: Bianca Belair and Deonna Purrazzo. Now that the title's changed hands, Matt, I fully expect her to be the next challenger for Kairi Sane after the rematch.
No, it certainly seems to be that way.
I did not get back from getting dinner. I got back like at the end of this match. Did Purrazzo get a nice little pop?
Yeah, I thought she got a good pop from the crowd.
And then the second match of the evening, I mean, UK championship matches are definitely always entertaining. Pete Dunne took on Zach Gibson in a rematch for the championship. Darryl, what were your thoughts on these two Brits?
Tough, hard hitting. You know how the Brits usually do. Like, everything is quality and a lot of hard nose. Like, pretty much they beat the shit out of each other.
I tell you what, though, man. Dunn breaking the submission by getting his teeth on the ropes was fucking great. And Gibson, I mean, there's a guy that, only a mother could love, because that guy just looks like a heel personified right there. Dunn hits the bitter end as his championship reign is... has that been over a year now?
Think so.
Yeah, it's over. Too. They announced on Twitter tonight 450 plus days.
I fully expect shortly into the run of NXT UK that title changes hands. Just a guess. Any idea? I know you don't know for sure, but any guesses as to when that debuts finally?
Now they're doing their second set of tapings this weekend, so they're gonna have a lot of shows in the tank when it finally starts. Probably sometime this fall, I would assume. I would guess after the Mae Young Classic's done.
Yeah, that's good assumption. Monday Night Raw this week, as somebody said, I can't remember who it was, if it was ESPN or Bleacher Report or somebody said it well, that ESPN's residency in Brooklyn, just like someone has a residency in Vegas for their shows. WWE's residency in Brooklyn continues with Raw and SmackDown this week. Roman Reigns comes out, your new Universal Champ. Hey, what the Universal Championship is on Raw? Can you imagine that, guys? Do you think we'd ever see that thing again?
Thank God we do.
Better late than never.
Of course, Reigns saying, "I'm a man of my word. I beat Lesnar." Fans chanting, "You still suck." Reigns says, "Normally he would be open for anybody that wants to step up, but I've got only one man in mind to defend my Universal title against, and no, it's not Brock Lesnar. It's Monday. He's not going to wrestle on a Monday." Finn Balor, he's never gotten his one-on-one opportunity for the Universal title, so tonight he's defending it against Finn Balor. Finn Balor came out, says he accepts the challenge. The two shake hands. And Constable Baron Corbin comes out all bitching because he's whining because he got squashed, and he was set to face Finn Balor, the man, and the demon showed up instead. Yeah, Corbin, you just got your ass kicked. Shut up. But that did lead to Kurt Angle coming out and say, "Corbin, you got a match against this guy, Bobby Lashley." And
man, that match went way too long.
Yeah, it went way too long. Nobody cared. But it was weird. Nobody cared. But yet Lashley got a nice pop after he won, too. I was like, well, that's weird. Nobody was caring. I think I heard...
Well, nobody cared because it was Corbin.
Yeah.
He's just... Nobody fucking cares. He's not over at all. And him being pushed into the general manager role while Kurt's off doing God knows what isn't going to make things any better for us.
I got some insight into that. WWE is heading up north soon, and if you've had a DUI within the last 5 years, you can't enter the country. So that might explain, because I think it's going to be Raw's in Toronto either next week or the week after.
They're in Toronto this week, upcoming week.
That would be why that is what it is. Angle in the office, and Paul Heyman shows up, and Heyman says that Lesnar would like to invoke his contractually obligated rematch clause, and Angle says, "Well, yeah, I've read that contract, and it doesn't say when he gets that. It's going to be a long time before he gets that rematch." Those are words I like to hear, right, guys? Long time before we see Lesnar getting a rematch for that title.
It'll be a long time before we see Lesnar again, period.
Corbin showed up to complain of what Angle was doing, and Corbin said he's not a dog that does tricks, and tired of Angle not giving him what he wants. And so he's going to go cry to Stephanie about it. We got ourselves a 6-woman tag match next. Bayley, Sasha Banks, Ember Moon take on the Riot Squad, which ended with Riot hitting the Riot Kick for the victory. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder, you think You think they're going to feed Ruby to Rousey after the rematch with Bliss?
I'd be fine with that.
My guess is that's where they're going to go.
We haven't seen Jax in a while. I mean, they could bring back and do that again.
Yeah, where has she been?
She's been doing rehab somewhere. Like, I don't know if she has a minor injury or whatever. I've just heard she's been doing physical therapy and stuff as of late. So, yeah, I don't know.
Triple H came out basically just to put over the Australia show on October 6th against The Undertaker, cutting a game-like promo and not a businessman-like promo, which I'm fine with. You know, I always like hearing a game promo every once in a while, but he knew that there'd be a little bigger crowd tuning into this Monday Night Raw, so pretty smart for him to put that out there. Darryl, are you excited for this Triple H Taker match? Like I said in the open, the last time ever really means nothing to me when they said once in a lifetime with Rock and Cena, but...
Yeah, I thought it was the end of an era at one point.
Yeah.
I guess I'll take it, you know.
Matt, do you think this is going to be a little better of a show quality-wise compared to the Greatest Royal Rumble? Or do you think we're going to get
I think people need to go into this expecting what we already know. This is the Greatest Royal Rumble. Just without a Royal Rumble. I mean...
that we know of. There might be one later. Who knows?
But I mean, seriously, that's all this is. It's a televised house show. It's gonna look great because there's gonna be 80,000 people there. But don't expect any title changes or anything huge to come out of this show. It's just not gonna happen. Well, but I mean, that's not a bad thing. You know, if we can just get a couple hours of entertaining wrestling, that's cool by me.
Yeah. We've been doing our show almost since the birth, a little after the birth of the WWE Network, literally less than a year after it was launched. And and Matt, we've been asking for stuff like this to be televised. You know, so we're getting it.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying people shouldn't go into this expecting, a pay-per-view quality show, because that's not what this is. No. It's a live event in front of a large crowd that's going to be broadcasted live on the WWE Network, and just don't expect anything more than that.
Next up, Dean Ambrose with Seth Rollins took on Dolph Ziggler with Drew McIntyre, and Darryl, it's good to see Dean Ambrose back in the ring again, huh?
Yeah, Dean looks crazier. You can tell he's jacked now, been in the gym going crazy.
Yeah, you got nothing else to do, right? But
right.
Yeah, dude's in amazing shape. We mentioned that last week on the show, and looked pretty damn good. Launching Ziggler up in the air and hitting the dirty deeds for the pinfall after 9 minutes. Yeah, good to see him back. And that wasn't the last we saw of them guys too either. Finn Balor getting ready in the locker room when Braun Strowman showed up and says he does things face to face and wish Balor good luck while holding up the Money in the Bank briefcase, basically saying if you win, I might be a call-in. Of all guys to interrupt Elias this week, I was a little surprised that it was Kurt Hawkins, but Hawkins is from the area, though, isn't he, Matt?
Yep. I think Queens.
So he claimed that he was going to end his 218-match losing streak against Elias. And, well, no, it didn't happen. Hawkins got a couple of pieces of offense in before he got drifted away into loss number 219. Titus O'Neil walking backstage, and Cruz and Dana Brooke were talking, and then they kind of stopped talking. I think we're teasing a little Apollo Crews heel turn, possibly. There's a lot of people that need heel turns. Crews is one of them. Seriously, though, the title, the Intercontinental title...
I don't care about this at all.
The Intercontinental title is back on Seth Rollins. God damn it, turn Bobby Roode heel. Turn him heel on Seth Rollins. I asked for it when Rollins had the belt last time.
Look, let's face it. Roode should have never been brought up as a babyface to begin with.
No.
Yep.
His entire run in NXT was a heel, and then all of a sudden he's on SmackDown as a babyface. It didn't make any fucking sense.
Well, to Vince, it's like, they sing along. They like this guy. They sing along, pal. Oh, yeah.
We sung along with Nakamura's song, too. No, Nakamura's one of the best heels in the company.
Oh my God, he's doing. I cannot say that enough of how great of a job he's doing as a heel. AOP destroyed Titus Worldwide. Also, you saw.
Hope to God we never have to see that match again.
And yeah, I was like, why are we seeing this again now? But and more of a split between Brooke and Cruz and Titus O'Neil, possibly. What'd you think of the Ronda Rousey Championship celebration, Matt?
Look, anytime I get to see Stephanie get her ass beat, it's a good night. And that's what I got, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, how many times on the show have either you or I said nobody ever gets to cash in that receipt on Steph McMahon? And now they've got a star that can cash those receipts, huh?
Well, they're totally playing this as the Austin McMahon dynamic from the Attitude Era.
Yep.
And I don't know if it'll ever get quite to that point, but that's certainly what they're trying to do right now.
I mean, Steph is serviceable in the ring for considering who she's not a pro wrestler. I mean, the match she had with Brie Bella was decent back in a few years back, and I don't know if it's going to get to that level either. But tell you what, Rousey's getting to could be getting to the level of Austin in terms of popularity in the women's division and WWE overall. Though, I mean, she's making headlines and doing a great job while ascending the ladder. So
she's definitely the true face of that company right now.
Yeah, Darryl,
It's not Roman Reigns, it's Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, Darryl, is either last week, it was probably 2 weeks ago, or more than it might have been last month. Yeah, we were I was talking. We were talking on the show here, and I told Matt I ran down some numbers of YouTube numbers and compare just segments from Raw, because they post the segments of Raw up on YouTube, and I told them all the numbers, and then got to Ronda Rousey's number. It was quite a big jump, so to speak.
Damn, I'm not surprised at all.
The B team and their shitty ass entrance music.
Go.
I like the chant. All right, don't get me wrong there, but that music, fucking A.
They could have had that chant without the fucking music.
Yes.
They could have just done it on the mic.
That old thing was pretty good.
It was, yeah. But the chant, is getting over. But it's getting over with the universe. But that music, god damn. I know college football is coming out, but I don't need it in my entrance music.
Ooh.
Bo Dallas took on Scott Dawson, followed by Curtis Axel taking on Dash Wilder. The Revival got both quick wins there to set them up as the next challenger again with the B team. I'm not feeling the feud. I would love to see the Revival actually take the titles off of the B team, but I just feel like the B team is going to skate by until AOP kills them. That's just my feeling. Next up is the main event, Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, 20-minute match, and man, I thought this was a tremendous match, which I guess is not really much of a surprise, but I'll tell you what, though, Matt, that crowd was invested and loud for the end of that match, especially on Balor's near falls, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, the crowd was desperate for a title change that as soon as he didn't come out as the Demon, I knew we weren't getting.
Yeah.
So it's whatever.
Strowman's music hit, which almost made you think that was the distraction that Balor would need to beat Reigns. He goes up for the coup de grace, but Reigns avoided it and hit the spear to get the win after 20 minutes. Strowman gets into the ring with his contract and hands the contract over, and JoJo announces there's going to be a cash-in when all of a sudden Sierra Hotel Indigo Echo Lima Delta. Oh, what? I did not. Honestly, I wasn't even expecting this. Maybe I should have expected it, but I wasn't. Were you expecting that, Darryl?
Hell no. I couldn't see it at all. They surprised me by coming out through from the stage. I was actually more anxious for them to come out through the crowd.
Yeah,
but
that would have took a little too long, probably though.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad they did it because I wasn't really enthusiastic about Raw. Because for one, I was looking forward to see if somebody got called up. But it was cool for me. I enjoyed it.
What did you think about the Shield reuniting, Matt?
Unless this leads to the Shield being heels, the whole segment to me, while it was an entertaining segment that shocked people, it didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, the only sense
because this was a premeditated attack.
Yeah.
It's not like Rollins and Dean came out in their gear they were wearing earlier in the night. They were already decked out in their Shield gear. Already had the music ready and lined up ready to play. Like, clearly this was a premeditated plan. So if Finn would have gotten closer, would they have come out and stopped Finn from winning the title? It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. It's hard to...
Because the commentators did not sell it as a heel turn.
No.
But pro wrestling logic dictates that what they just did was a heel act. So it'll be really interesting to see where this goes from here.
Yeah, I mean, Rollins is like one of the biggest baby faces right now. Dean just got back, so he's obviously getting the pops. And yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with it, but I sure as hell enjoyed the ride at the end of it. Like I said, it was an okay Raw, but it had a tremendous ending with a great match and the reuniting of the Shield. We transition to the A Show, SmackDown Live. We kick it off with The Miz and Maurice. And The Miz getting all emotional, starting to cry as he announces his retirement. His retirement from ever facing Daniel Bryan again. I mean, we all knew that little facade was going to fall off eventually, and I thought The Miz did a great job, though, leading up to that. And Miz said the 8-year saga came to a satisfying conclusion because the Miz did what he said he was going to do, beat Daniel Bryan in front of a sold-out Barclays Center. And Miz said Bryan gave everything he had, punched him 100 times, but it didn't amount to one Miz punch. And good stuff, which led to Daniel Bryan coming out, calling Miz a coward. And Miz saying, well, it doesn't say coward in the record books. And the fans started chanting, you're a coward. And Miz says he's superior to Daniel Bryan in every way. Bryan said that the lies and all that facade, that's all you ever are. That is the Miz in a nutshell. And he's going to expose the Miz for who he really is, a wannabe Hollywood star cosplaying as a professional wrestler. I love that line by Bryan. Maurice told Bryan he should just retire again and just change his name to Daniel Bella, which prompted Brie Bella's music to hit, and she comes to the ring. Maurice bailed, and Brie beats the shit out of the Miz. How great was that there, Matt?
It was hilarious.
She threw some haymakers too, huh?
She was not pulling punches, and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic because I definitely did not see that coming.
And obviously this leads to the announcement later on that Paige announced at Hell in a Cell mixed tag match: Daniel Bryan, Brie Bella, Miz and Maurice. A lot of mixed tag stuff going on lately. You kind of wonder if that mixed match challenge is coming back later in the fall.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Miz and Maurice complained to Paige about the mixed tag match and said that Paige is even a worse GM than Daniel Bryan. And Paige said, you got punched in the face by Brie Bella. Tag match stays. Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton. As this feud continues, they finally culminate into a match on SmackDown. But after 7 minutes, after Orton tried to rip Hardy's earlobe off again, Hardy just kicks Orton in the groin on purpose to cause a disqualification. Good stuff there to continue the feud. Do you think, Matt? Do you think this is a Hell in a Cell worthy feud? Put it inside the cell.
One of Jeff Hardy's main dreams has been able to work a Hell in a Cell match. So, I mean, I guess it's possible, but man, in his shape, I really don't want him to be in one.
True. But it's two legendary WWE superstars, so
yeah,
I think a cell match fits it. What do you think, Darryl?
Yeah. Between those two, I'm just eager to see what would Jeff Hardy do in a Hell in a Cell.
I'm worried about what Jeff Hardy would do in a Hell in a Cell.
You got eager and you got worried. You got both ends of the spectrum there.
Yeah.
But is there anything more uncomfortable than Randy Orton sticking his finger in Jeff Hardy's earlobe and trying to rip it out? I
turn my head, and I'm not squeamish. It's just weird. Like I feel like he's gonna whip it off.
I don't like looking at that.
At the end of the match, Jeff Hardy continued the attack by beating the shit out of Randy Orton. I thought it was a great retaliation attack for all the shit Orton has done to him lately. It all culminated with a swanton bomb through a table on Randy Orton. I thought that was tremendous post-match stuff with Jeff Hardy. In intensity, in anger, you don't see out of Hardy that often, and Orton hit those buttons, and I thought it was well done. That's why after I saw all that on SmackDown, I said, this has to be in the cell. I want to see this in the cell, as long as Jeff doesn't kill himself. The Bar, talking to Renee Young, saying that they're going to challenge the next tag team, the winners of the tag teams, for a title shot. And Anderson and Gallows showed up, and they said they're going to audition for the kickoff show. And Anderson in his and Gallows in his English accent, and Anderson showing off his abs, and they challenged the Bar to a match. And next week that'll be going down. The Good Brothers in the Bar. Naomi took on Peyton Royce after that. Only a 4-minute match, but hey, Matt, Peyton Royce goes over Naomi here. How about that?
It's about damn time. Thanks, Meltzer.
Yeah, thanks, Meltzer, for sticking his foot in his mouth. We won't go into that too much, but if you look at, I think the best comment on that was Seth Rollins saying, -6 stars, Dave.
So true.
Hopefully the ladies get a match on the Australia Super Show so they can get a nice little pop. You would expect that they would have a tag match of some sort, but Big E in the locker room getting taped on his ribs from the trainer, and Kofi asked him about his ribs, and he pulled out some barbecue ribs and said, "These are good." no, your actual ribs, Big E. And those are hurt, so Big E is not competing. It's going to be Kingston and Woods in the tag team title, no disqualification match. They talked about all the history in Brooklyn, where they started their record tag team title reign, the birthplace of Francesca, and this is where they'll be the five-time tag team champions. Becky Lynch comes out to the ring. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the show about her promo and kind of trying to get the crowd to turn on her, but it didn't really work. But Matt, I kind of like the new side of Becky, though. I mean, it's fresh, it's interesting. It's not gonna. I still don't think they could get her ever to be booed by the crowd, but I don't mind her acting differently here, Matt.
No, I as long as she's getting a push, I don't really care.
Yeah, and I thought she'd.
I mean, that's really what I come down to. Whether they force her as a heel or force her as a face, or whatever, just let the crowd decide. As long as she's getting a push, I really don't have any complaints, because I just feel like a push for her is long overdue.
It is, and I predicted Becky Lynch coming out of SummerSlam the winner, just because I thought, well, it just was another odd for her to overcome on her road to finally becoming champion again. But, of course, Charlotte got the win there. Darryl, did you think Becky was going to come out of SummerSlam the champion, or did you think...
Oh, yeah, I did. I mean, she deserves it. Like, for the most part, she's the first SmackDown Women's Champion. She should have got another title shot, or at least won the title a couple more times before Sunday. But like you guys said, Charlotte is the female version of Roman Reigns. So what can you expect?
I'm sure Vince is trying to build Charlotte up to get to as close to 16 like her daddy as well. So that's another thing probably to think of. Charlotte comes out, and we get ourselves a good old-fashioned brouhaha with the ladies' locker room spilling out, a little pull-apart brawl. I thought this was... we see pull-apart brawls quite often, Matt, but I thought this was an interesting one with the ladies being involved this time.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought the entire segment was the best thing on the show. I just thought it was really, really well done.
Do you think the WWE should cave in and turn the direction for Charlotte heel? I mean, Charlotte is a natural heel, good at it.
And she likes playing a heel better.
And Becky's a natural babyface. Do you think it just eventually gets to the point where it's too awkward, where they're both in opposite roles?
Well, like I said earlier, the fact that WWE cut out her lines against the audience in the video that they uploaded today
told you a lot.
Tells me a lot that WWE might be rethinking their positioning on who's the face and who's the heel in this feud. WWE doesn't do anything by accident, especially stuff like that. That wasn't done by accident.
Rusev and Lana got their win back against Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega, and guess what?
Yes.
Aiden English didn't fuck it up. He actually took a chair away from Almas, and that led to a Rusev...
This is the finish that I thought was going to happen at SummerSlam.
English helping to win. Help him win. Reunite Rusev Day.
It's clearly looked reunited to me.
No, I mean, that's what you thought was going to happen at SummerSlam?
Yeah, I thought Aiden English was going to save the day, and Rusev Day was going to win the match at SummerSlam, and it didn't go that way. But the finish that I thought was going to happen at SummerSlam ended up happening on SmackDown, which I guess you could argue more people saw. I mean, I don't really know that for a fact, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I watched the kickoff show. Yeah, it was all smiles from Rusev and Lana towards Aiden English, so Rusev Day is fine and dandy. Shinsuke Nakamura said that now he's disposed of that clown Jeff Hardy. He's the hero to America, and it's now going to be called the United States of Knock-America. Hey, I would like to live in the United States of Knock-America. I do not mind.
Can't be any worse than where we're living now.
Facts.
The old school on the stage interview, Renee Young and AJ Styles. And some fans that were still chanting, "Who's your daddy?" Styles talks about how the next time Joe mentions his family by name, he's going to take care of that. But before he could finish that sentence, there's Joe pulling Styles off the stage, putting him in a coquina clutch. And as AJ goes to sleep, Joe did a promo towards Wendy saying... Daddy's gone night-night as this great rivalry continues. Yeah, we got R-Truth challenging Carmella to a match because he thought if he beats Carmella, he gets a title shot. Old R-Truth. My bad!
Ooh.
Main event time. Bludgeon Brothers. New Day. Big E comes out with the New Day, then wishes him well as he heads back to the back. And tell you what, Matt, we got ourselves a hell of a main event on SmackDown Live here with these four guys, didn't we? I mean, on top of knowing the fact that Rowan was working with a torn bicep right there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like as I said, I didn't get to see most of the match at SummerSlam, but I enjoyed what I saw on SmackDown, and major respect and props to Erick Rowan going out there working with a torn bicep. I mean, that takes a lot of balls.
Lots of, obviously, a no disqualification. So basically, tornado tag match. Shit was flying everywhere. I mean, fucking Harper launching that announce desk chair at Kofi in the beginning of the match. Jesus Christ, he fucking winged that thing. I mean, that was like out of nowhere, too, because he wasn't in the frame. They were showing Rowan and Kofi. Then all of a sudden, boom, he just gets popped with the chair. I'm like, fuck. The crucifix bomb on Kingston onto the ladder. I thought that was
brutal.
I thought that was the good night. But Kofi kicks out of the finisher, which gave you hope. Rowan brought some tables into the ring. Harper grabbed one of the mallets and slapped Rowan 3 times. I love that. Rowan's like, hit me again. And he charged with the mallet, but Kingston moved and Rowan crashed into the barricade, broke the barricade. Harper sets up Woods in the ring near the table that's in the ring. Kingston grabs the mallet and nails Harper in the gut with it, hits Trouble in Paradise. Woods then hits his springboard elbow drop, putting Harper through the table. Both Woods and Kingston cover Harper 1, 2, 3 after a brilliant 15-minute tag match. The New Day are now your 5-time tag team champions. Big E comes out, celebrates with the New Day as we go off the air. And shortly after SmackDown went off the air, Luke Harper posts on Twitter, thanks Rowan. So kind of appreciation to his buddy for stepping up when he's dealing with a very painful injury. New Day, your tag team champions, and goddamn, it was another good SmackDown, wasn't it, boys?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, I thought SmackDown delivered.
Are we heading probably towards another bar and New Day feud going here?
Yep.
Like to see the Good Brothers in it. Maybe somehow there's no decision in the match next week, and maybe 3 teams are in a feud. I wouldn't hate that, just because I'd like to see Gallows and Anderson in the mix, and we haven't seen the Bar in some time, and I would like to see it go that way. What do you guys think?
The SmackDown is loaded in the tag team division. I mean,
you got the Usos, you got Sanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, their tag team division's a lot better than what Raw has right now.
A lot. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Lost in the Midcard. Once again, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do is make sure to search for Lost in the Midcard, hit that subscribe button. That way you know a new episode coming your way every Thursday. Also select Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube, and you can get those links on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard, on our pinned post, or on our pinned tweet at LITMC Podcast. You can get the subscription links there. Also, we share a lot of great tweets from the wrestling world. I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. Darryl is on the Twitter at No One Like D. Matt is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. And before we ride off into that sunset, look forward to football season kicking off and fall coming in. Darryl, what are your final thoughts?
I'm all in. Are you guys all in?
Oh, all in, baby.
I'm all in on that Ring of Honor show in October. Fuck off, SmackDown 1000.
Yep, Matt's not going to...
Yeah, I said it.
No, Matt's not heading to the A show.
Fuck you, WWE main roster. You're still not getting my money.
They tried.
Try harder.
They tried.
Try harder.
Matt, what are your final thoughts?
Just gave them.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good enough for me. For Darryl, Matt, this is Jeremy. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. We'll be back at you next week with our all-in preview.